I'm not gonna listen to you any longer. Wabam. Now I need to figure out where to put myself. Now I'm gonna minimize myself to a pretty high degree. I'm gonna slide myself in the top corner here, right? Now you guys might be wondering, what the fuck is this? Well, it's the first page of the book. The first page of the book. Let me just fact check myself right here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. The first page of the book. It's incredible how that works. How the book is on the screen, and I've also got the book in my hands. Technology, am I right? Now, I will also preface is that some of the images are the wrong way around because the book is landscape. So you kind of have to flip things the wrong way to get a view on them, right? So just listen, if I have to rotate images, I don't want anyone hit me with the what the fuck is happening here? Why are the images rotated? It's a landscape book. Books aren't meant to be landscape. Listen, that's the truth of it. But this is the first page that we have, right? Let me click into here so we can continue. The second few pages are like some manga panels, right? This is their animation panels. It's actually kind of weird that this is what they start with. I'll be honest with you. There are some problems with this book because they start you with the classic random picture of Mount Taichuan and then straight into a animation sequence. What are these things called, King? You're about to correct me on whatever these things are called. The manga panels, it's frame by frame thing. This is the Herstra of Senti versus sorry, this is the Durandal Kevin versus Senti cinematic, because you obviously have Durandal here. You can see like the text, it says Durandal and then whatever she says in Chinese. And then it has one of my favorite frames from any animation from Mihoyo is the Senti attacking Herstra of Reason. I fucking love this frame. It's very creepy and they did a good job with that one. But then we get into some characters. Now listen, there is some glare on the screen. Now I'm not going to take any criticism about the glare either because I'm a professional. I'm a professional, right? But there is some glare. Onyx Sigma, pretty cool character. Pretty cool character. A lot of this stuff is kind of basic for the first, like, I'd say 30 pages. They kind of give you a lot of frames. It's Mount Taichuan. You know, it's not like overly incredible. A majestic, picturesque mountain located in Shenzhou. It was once the home of the immortals, thus has never been invaded by monsters. Records about Master Phoenix can still be seen here. There's a bit of glare there. Lin Xiaoyu is an absolute beauty of a character. The details of these first characters is not immense because I don't think they were meant, like, the one of the first characters we see is a skin, so it's like, you know, what the fuck, what is that? But story-wise, I guess they kind of follows in suit, right? Because they're telling this book's whole thing. The book's whole thing is kind of showing all the characters in chronological order with the story. So it's kind of cool. Everyone at Mount Taichuan has heard stories of Master Phoenix. The legends have spread word of mouth. Her protection is reassuring. People have built a statue in her image to pray for health and safety throughout the generations. Pretty cool. Next we have Valkyrie Acipita with, again, very simplistic things. Once we get into a few of the other characters, a bit closer to the what kind of story point, like a bit after Arc City, it kind of starts getting a bit more interesting with their design choices. But Valkyrie Acipita, the descriptions there are there. I think you can also find the same descriptions in game. I don't think these descriptions are unique to the book, but special type of Valkyrie made from the Far East branch of Shixel. The armor carries a traditional design of Shenzhou, the homeland of Fuhua. Cuffs are customized, removing battle gauntlets, yada yada yada. And then you can't see Phoenix's face, but Phoenix is there. In fact, don't worry, the glare is jarring. But yeah, again, very basic. Then we have Shadow Knight. This one was a bit cooler, mainly on the second page. You have some color choices here. You can see that where they like designed and went with a few things. I think which one here is the final design choice? I think it is this one on the right side here that is the final design choice. I think I can even zoom in on it. I think this one is the final design choice, but I do like some of these ones down here. Like, because you can also see kind of like how they work with Fu's hair. I kind of like one of these ones, personally. They look a little bit more fuller, obviously because it's a lot more stuff happening, but also the hair design you can see is kind of different. I think it works because of the visor. But that's that one. I like this one. I like whatever the fuck this is. I think this is just like a highlight of the things that glow. So it's not actually like a design thing that they were going for, but I do like how they outline what glows and it kind of just looks cool. few arrow shits and everything. Kind of looks cool. You can see the design choices. Obviously, I'm a very analytical man. And look at this glare. You guys see this shit? I love it. I can see so much here. I can see so much. That's not the. There's no red. That's not the final design. Oh, my bad. I guess the. No, I'm pretty sure there is. It just glows when you use her in game. She just glows. Anyway, moving on. I believe this is Taishuan Impression. It's a skin for Azure Imperia. Bright moonlight shines across the mountains with the snow piling on the rooftop. Remember the scene unfolds like a painted scroll on old stories. This one, again, great. The next one is probably like one of the best kind of panels in all of Honkai. To be quite frank, I think a lot of people can agree with that. This is one of the better panels, or manga frames, anime frames, whatever you want to call it. One of the better ones in all of it, just because it looks dope and we get to see a lot of characters that we didn't get to see before Li Susheng's release. Obviously, Li Susheng's Stigma tell us a lot about the a few of these characters, mainly like this red lady and I think her, but regardless, one of the cooler panels. Then we have Azure Imperia. We have Azure Imperia A, Azure Imperia B, and C. The designs, you kind of tell the difference. Again, it's kind of tough because even in the book, it's not like overly detailed because obviously they're very small sketch images, right? But you can see the differences. I kind of like A, to be quite frank with you. I think the one that's closest to the final release is C. C or B are the closest one to release, but the reason I like A is that you can kind of see that she has the I don't know what it's called, but it's like the Chinese like formal like dress, formal like suit. I think it's a male formal suit, I think. Don't quote me on what it is, but like the characters in Liyue in Genshin Impact, like the male guys wear them, and I kind of like it. And I like the white and black on the other side. It like kind of looks pretty cool. So yeah, there's design differences there. Very cool, very cool. And on the other side, kind of, I think this is like pseudo final design. Pseudo final design. Nothing crazy changes after this one. The gauntlets you can kind of see in the bottom here. The gauntlets, I didn't even know they had gauntlets. I thought they were like those were her weapons. Did it actually say her weapons? Design sketch. Jingcho, yeah, what Jingcho wears. It's kind of like that. Yeah, true. The button up and down the middle, kind of like formal Chinese attire. I think it's formal. I'm not sure. I'm just spitballing here, just kind of second guessing, just in general guessing. Then a random page about Fuxi or Nuwa. I'm not exactly sure which one it is, but just a random page about. I was confused when this one came up. I was like, what the fuck's this doing here? I think it's Fuxi though, right? Book of Fuxi. It's the elf. I think the elf was released alongside it. It didn't say anything on the page. I can't remember which one this what it is, but she looks cool. Just an elf character though, just kind of a small chibi. And then we have a dope ass frame or panel of Senti. You can't really go wrong with this one. Senti's a dope ass character. You can't go wrong with this. And you got the different things. You got the sword, you got the chain blade, and you got the big old. I think this has actually been an image for a while. I don't know why I'm acting like this is brand new stuff. It's not. Then we have the graveyard of Taishuan. Weapons are her toys, and fighting is just a game. You can find all the answers here. That is, if you can defeat her. I was expecting a bit more rhyming, but there was no rhyming, so whatever. But it's kind of just a bit more scenery. This is the part where you fight Senti as what's her face? Herstia of Void / Kiana. Void Drifter. Yeah, Void Drifter. And it's kind of a cool fight, cool thing. And then you have Senti's design, which is probably my favorite. Like, Senti has two appearances in this one. One, which is this one, which looks dope. And she has one of her skins, I believe the summer skin, the shark one. Which, to be quite frank, looking at her designs is fucking great. Because looking at her weapons is... dude, the weapon design they did for her. Just like looking at the chain blade. You have the chain blade, which you can see, it's a chain blade. Obviously, look at that, chain. And then the sword. Kind of a generic sword, really, to be quite frank. It's nothing crazy. The generic sword. Still looks cool, though. And then a spear and the great sword, and it's all to put together. It's a fucking dope-ass character, man. Just dope. But the even more dope thing, down here, look at this fucking design, man. They should have went with this. It looks a lot more evil, or this should become like a skin. This should be like a prestige skin or something. She, like, upgrades to, like more clothed and more badass and more, like, kind of, not even, I don't want to use the demonic term, but it kind of is like that vibe, like corrupted, more corrupted per se, because you can kind of see she's got the black and red wispies, The neck is like black and red. Like you can kind of see stuff around the face kind of turning blackish, and it's like the hair is done differently. I think she's got a ponytail here. I think that's a high ponytail. So it's like this should be like a prestige skin or something because it looks fucking dope. But then some other designs were this one over here, which is on. I can get a better picture of this one on the next page. But some of them have just different weapons. Like here, you can see a bit more of a lighter design for like some of the parts in the back. Looks fucking sick. A bit more corruption on this one, as you can kind of see the tendrils on the legs. And this one's got like a different sword. It's like a bit more of an ethereal sword, right? And then if we go to the next page, we can see the other one, which the one down in the bottom here, the goddamn pirate. They bring out the cutlass, dude. Holy crap! This could also be. I don't want to say a prestige skin, but they should do something with the cutlass because the cutlass looks fucking. I think it's a scimitar. Sorry, it's not even a cutlass. I think it's a scimitar. Or I don't know. It's a scimitar or a cutlass. Whichever one it is. It looks fucking dope as hell. I love it. I love the weapon choice. And then the next page is just the boss. Not the actual like character Senti, but the boss Senti. Enemy, history, skillful weapon master, yada yada yada. We all know who Senti is, right? We're not going to try to explain who Senti is. Then we have more storyboards. Thank you, King, for telling me what that is. More storyboards. This is now the Hersha of Void versus Hersha of Sentience official fight. Thingamajiggy, whatever you can call it. If did they fight or no? And then you have one of the best, animations per se in all of Honkai. Rubia, I believe it's called. I can't remember. Rubia, absolutely immaculate. I also like one thing where they like write certain words on the actual storyboards slow. Like, yeah, this is meant to be slow. I don't know. I've never really looked at storyboards personally, so I don't really know what they're meant to look like or meant to do. But yeah, slow. And was it slow? Yes, it was. So good job. And then Senti is looking sad with Phoenix in the background because that is the end of the Mount Taishuan, I believe. This is me and myself. Looking back on the millennium, she resented her numerous failures, but when she set off to make the change, she still couldn't find the answer to the persistent question, who am I? And that's the end of the Mount Taishuan arc. That's kind of everything that came out of it, which was pretty cool. Mainly Senti, though. That's like the only cool thing. That's the only cool thing. Senti. Everything else is kind of okay, right? Everything else is kind of okay, but Senti, some of the designs here, like we need a short-haired Senti, dude. We need a short-haired Senti. Like looks like kind of like Yelan. I said it. Get a Yelan in here that looks like Senti. But next act or next arc, we go into Arc City. Oh, and this is now where we have to do the classic little bit of a switcheroony. Boom. Arc Lightbound. Within the light curtain, the city lights stay lit. To explore the space beyond the light curtain, you must secure 3 keys controlled by the 3 major forces, Heliopolis, Snake Eye, and Taishuan. Thus, Arc City's brilliant hacker embarked on her own adventurous journey. I believe this is the, not the actual Arc City, but this referencing Hacksaw Bunny's Arc City, which is technically still Arc City, but not like in regards to the actual main story, but it doesn't fucking matter. The specifics don't matter. First character, flip her around, Hacksaw Bunny. Some of the cooler designs here as well. You get to see the different designs that they thought for the robot, which to be quite frank with you, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Dude. Get this guy in there. What the hell? Get this as like a skin or something for the little robot. Man, looks sick. And then a few other ones. This one looks like a fucking fighter pilot. You got like something from like Portal 2. And then you just got a few more like redesigns or reskins of a few other redesigns. This one also kind of looks like it's from Portal 2, kind of. This one looks like it could crawl on the ground, so on and so forth. You are next. It does say you are next. It kind of looks like a speaker as well. It kind of looks like a speaker. But yeah, Hacksaw Bunny looks good, Flip it around a bit more. And now we get into a bit more of like the cooler character designs. Before it was very bare bones because you had to like, you know, it was like 3 images. But now you get into a few more things. You know, you can see the design choices they were looking for some of the P90 like sprays essentially for her guns. I think the one that they went for was the top one here. But to be quite frank with you, I do like all of them. Maybe except for the top right one. Again, it's in Russian because she's a Russian character, but everything except for the top right one, I don't like the top right one. The other ones look really cool though. The turquoise and the blue one look very dope, and then a few more designs for robots down here. Don't really know what the hell's going on here, but I guess it's like from different angles. And then you have a limbless Haxel Bunny, which, to be quite frank, Haxel Bunny's design is probably one of the better ones in the game, right? I think that's a pretty unanimous agreement. Pretty good design. Spray painter, a hooligan, delinquent character, Hacksaw Bunny. Looks dope. I don't know what this top left thinking is. I think is it a hacking console? Is that what it is? Oh, it is. You know, there's the keyboard. True. Oh, yeah, this is kind of cool. They have like a specific design for her little hacking console. That's kind of cool. I didn't actually notice that until just now. Very cool. Next character, Verdant Sky. Again, a skin. More skins are being announced or shown than actual characters, but for Teresa Apocalypse, look at the redesigns that they did, or the different designs they did for this skin. And then they settled on the one, obviously, that's in the big one. But the different designs that they thought of, look at this. They had, like, these kind of look a bit more like she's like an actual teenager, just kind of like strolling around the school or just strolling around town. To be quite frank, she's got a sweater with like one stocking, not stocking, and then over here she's just kind of like in like a hipster dress. So it's like, I kind of thankful they went with a bit more of like, even though the left one is kind of still the same, like hipstery kind of thing, modernized kind of young high school girl attire essentially. I think it still looks a bit more appropriate for the tone of the story than these other ones. And then as for this other skin on the right here, it's practically the official one, just probably different hues of colors and so on and so forth. But as for the words, I didn't care about the words too much for the skins, because you can probably find them online somewhere or in the game, really. Next skin, Old Times for Bronya. Don't really know what character is Bronny, rather. Sorry, Bronny for Haxel Bunny, that is. Cool character design as well. Few redesigns. Nothing too drastic, just generally just slightly different clothing, I think. Still went for that same vibe. You can see that it's the same vibe, though. It's a lot different from the Teresa one, because the Teresa one, you can see that it's kind of going for different vibes, different aesthetic of clothing. This one's the kind of, you can tell that they're a bit more different. Whilst with the Bronny one, you can kind of tell that it's going for a bit more of that like strapped up vibe. There's straps everywhere. There's buckles, straps, you know, leather things, pouches. You kind of tell that they're going for the one specific design like choice. Barista, you know what? Is that actually? Oh, you know, she does have. Oh, you're right. Is that what she? Oh, that's what she is. True. I didn't read the description. She is meant to be a barista. Oh, well. To be quite frank with you, the one that they did settle on looks the most like a barista. Because here's the thing. Grey/black is the most barista color. I think, in my opinion. I only ever see them wearing grey or black. I don't really see a barista like wearing like yellow or like red, really. So I think they did settle on probably the best choice. Now, do baristas carry around Tommy guns? No. But that's just a certain little thing that we're going to have to accept for this specific example. Oh yeah, and the red one kind of looks a bit too like hostile. The tattoo on the leg is kind of like throwing it off with the aggression and whatnot. But hey, they look great. Yeah, she worked at Raven's Bar. All right, nice. After that, we have some more like thing. Oh, still upset. Oh, there we go. A few more things with Heliopolis. This is a bit more very specific things if you're into like the actual architecture of the map. It looks cool, but you can still find this stuff in game very easily. So, kind of infrastructure things. Next one, Heliopolis Life Science. The moment the alarm goes off, the ring is closed, and the Heliopolis Life Science don't try anything funny unless you can pull it off without being spotted, indicating that like all of Arc City was kind of like a stealth mission, right? And it kind of was all just a stealth mission. After this, we got the Neon Ninja herself, Neon Shade, Sakura's Darkbolt Jonin skin, I think. I could be wrong on that one, I can't remember. But this one also has some great design sketches. Obviously, this kind of part here is kind of the main skin. This is kind of what it is right now in the game. Maybe some different altercations slightly, like just generally the whole Kitsune vibe, but like mecharized, like heavily. You can kind of see that here. A lot of this kind of just looks like what it is in game. And then we go to page 2, and you have some fucking dope designs down here. Some of them I can see why they didn't go for them, and the others I'm like, you know what? That should have been the skin. The left one, again, as blurry as it is, just kind of like this. It looks a lot like something like Mrs. Mobius, right? But it's green. Looks like what's that green it looks like Green Rita, the Rita that summons the dog. And then this one, B, definitely not a choice. The mixture of red and green definitely wasn't my favorite. C looks fucking sick. It's going for a bit more of that, like, curvaceous thingy because they have the curved blades and they're kind of like, it's bottom heavy a lot, so it looks pretty dope. And then you get into these last two designs, which this one is just C but recolored to red, which in that in itself, holy crap, dude, holy crap does D look good. And then E is probably like my second favorite, just because, and probably my first favorite because of the whole like hologram pixelation thing at the background, which is kind of like just a tech effect. But then the fact that she's got like the half mask, that is fucking sick. They need to add this as like a skin for it just because of the half mask, because that's just fucking dope. The half mask is dope as hell. So yeah, those redesigns are really cool. And some of the color choices, they went for a bit of a different colors here. They tried purple and red. They tried just red and just kind of grayish. They went purple and bluish, but they didn't settle on any of that. And they went with the obviously the original design, which is this one, which in itself looks very dope. But get some of these as skins, dude. Oh my days. They do need to make these skins. They do. But moving onwards, we have a few, I think these are panels from the actual game. I think these are things like, as you're playing through the Ark City chapter, or sorry, no, as you're playing through the Hacksaw Bunny event, I think this is what you encounter. It's Bronny versus Raven, Verdant Sky, the ninja arrives, Bronny on the bike, and then like Yai Kasumi arrives in Ark City. I think you can find all these in game if like during the event and also online, because they're in the game, right? Or probably in higher resolution, to be quite frank with you. But yeah, they look cool. And then after, oops, wrong way. After that, we have the beginning of Theater of Domination. Theater of Domination. They always go for the simplest one. Maybe excessive accessories can render movements to be odd, like spinning and seeing it went through the body. Absolutely no. That is the reason. Going for a simpler design allows for like, it prevents things looking very janky, bulky, you know, things like that, right? Definitely. But sometimes going above and beyond is like funner because it just looks cooler whilst it's stationary. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, Theater of Domination, a bit of a description. The solo stage, welcome to the show that never ends. Please arrive on time, find your seat, and remain seated throughout the performance. Enjoy the show. First thing we have, incredibly good thing, puppets hanging from nothing in an open area called the Theater of Domination. Looks kind of cool, looks funky, looks good. And just kind of, it's all just game story panels that you see in game. You can find all these in the game in actual like chapter 22. I think it's chapter 22 to 23. You can find all these things, or chapter 23, and maybe just chapter 23 or chapter 24. I can't remember. But you can find all these things in game as well. Then we go on to more simpler designs. Swallowtail Phantasm. Nothing too extravagant here. You can it's just her design. They didn't really think about it too heavily with this character. They probably came to a conclusion quite easily with this one. That's what she looks like right there. Then you have her first skin, I think, Azure Memories. Elegant, cute outfit. It's her favorite. It's also her friends from an orphanage remember her by. So, just skins. Again, very basic stuff. Some of these characters, like, they don't have anything super in-depth to kind of try to understand or look at. So I just move on, really, because the fuck. But then you have the two redesigns for Stygian Nymph, I believe. Yeah, it's Stygian Nymph 2, like, designs that they went with. So, these ones on the left are obviously the final designs. But it's kind of cool to see that, they kind of went for, like, mimicky designs, but just, like, different colors. Because, obviously, you can kind of tell that these two designs are kind of different, right? They're similar shape, but you can see the certain differences. Here it's flowers, here it's the creepy eyes. And then there's, like, other than that, it's pretty much the same. Whilst here, it was, like, one for one the same, no differences at all, just different colors. Same thing with here, they went for both the eyes. I think this looks like eyes, by the way. I know it's meant to be a flower. I know this is meant to be a flower, but it does not look like a flower. This over here looks like a flower because the thing in the middle does not look like an eye. This over here looks like an eye. So it's kind of good that they changed that, because this right here, the left one looks creepier than the right one, because the right one you can tell that it's meant to be an eye, but the left one you can be like, is it an eye or is it not an eye? But yeah, kind of cool designs, but nothing too extravagant again. And then we have Stygian Nymph in her glory. Well, is it her glory? I don't even know if she was that meta, but there she is. There's Stygian Nymph. After that, Drive Cometa. I'm just gonna skip that immediately. Hirsch of Reason. Again, very simple things. They're not really going too in depth with these characters. I'm not sure why. I wish they like showed the bike off for this character. I'm not sure if they do on the next page. No, they don't. I wish they kind of showed the bike design and whatnot. Maybe other things that they designed for the bike. Maybe like what's his name? Roger Bunny. I don't know what the rabbit's name is. The fucking robot. But his design and whatnot just kind of would have been nice to see that stuff. But after that, just some more manga things or game cinematic things. I don't think this is in the game though, right? I don't think this is in the game. This is a sick one. I don't remember this being in the game, or at least if it is, I might have skipped it or might have just forgotten about it. But this looks fucking dope. Maybe it's when Starchasm Nix actually appears. True. I'm thinking about it now. That is Starchasm Nix. It's not actually Stygian Nymph. So maybe it's when she appears. But regardless, this is a sick fucking panel. A sick little bit of a picture. Love to see it. Love to see it. And then we have Starchasm Nix, the infamous character for ruining my life and making me not want to play this game. It is in the game? Okay, my apologies then. It is in the game. Then next one, more Starchasm ones. I don't know if any of these are in the game though, to be quite frank with you. These ones, the bottom one specifically, I'm not sure. I don't remember this in any way, shape, or form. Maybe it's an event, but I'm not. These ones look very, very brand new to me. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Because the bottom one almost made me want to get the character again, but I controlled myself, but I almost wanted to get the character. But still, looks very cool, very cool. And then the design choices for Starchasm Nix, and as we can see on the right here, we have some different designs. That's what I love to see. Now, the main page kind of shows the character in their completed form. Obviously a bit more like different than what we're used to because it's like stationary in their like kind of sketched form. But still looks very cool when you like look at it like this. Hair, great, great, great. But going down to the bottom right here, dude, she was meant to have swords? They wanted to have swords with her? Dude, look at some of these design differences. Compared to the original Starchasm, looking at this, you're like, is this like Seely's like brand new suit? Is this going to be her version 6.5 suit? Or whatever the fuck? This looks fucking sick. I mainly like the ones with the pole arm, to be quite frank. I don't like the sword ones too much, personally. The ones with the pole arm are much, much better. But, like, regardless of if it is a pole arm or if it isn't a pole arm, looks very cool regardless. And then going over to the next page, a bit better pictures here. We've got some of the ones at the top. We'll take a look at these ones. Oh, great. Great. You know, definitely doesn't look like Starchasm Nix, you know, in the whole... They kind of abandoned, the whole red and black for some of these ones, because then you have blue and kind of turquoisey and black, which, to be quite frank, looks very good too. Looks very good with the whole, like, bun and then the things on the hair down the side, and then the general kind of, like, peacock aesthetic, in my opinion. And then, like, whatever this design is, it's like has a skull on the hand, and then some of these need to be skins. Like, come on! Come on! This one especially, this one looks so good. And then this last one, when I saw this one, the only thing I could kind of think of was like kind of like Zhongli from Genshin, just because of the whole like dark brown and like gold aesthetic. Kind of the only thing that comes to mind, but it does look still very fucking good. I do like this one a lot. All of these fucking designs one of these needs to become a skin in the future. Like, I don't really care for what reason they add it. They just add it to the game somehow, because it looks so fucking sick. But then going on a few of the more designs down here, just looking at the, like, again, she goes dual wielding again with C2, C1, like the dual wielding thing is she has like the skulls like alongside her, which is dope. She has the pet out. She has now down here a pole arm with like some sort of floating thing. I think these were all like also designs like in terms of before she like was actually meant to be like a playable character in how she is played, because obviously this is like dual swords, this is a pole arm, and then this is a pet mechanic that she probably would have had. But I think that these were the sketches before they decided on what kind of playstyle she has. So, and then they came to the conclusion of some of these weapons. To be quite frank with you though, the top left one is her signature right now, but some of these other ones like look fucking funky. Like the bottom right one, the axe one looks fucking sick in my opinion. Did you see Honkai Gakuen's 10.0 trailer? Nope, and I will not. But welcome to the stream, Pixel Dragon. The yellow look like Herschel Void skin. Kind of. Kind of. I guess it just kind of looks like Herschel Void in general because of just the yellow vibe. But yeah, Sarcasm Nyx. I think some of her designs need to be added as skins, 100%. Which I don't really care. They can do like a roulette. Just do a spin the circle, whatever it lands on, add it to the game because they're all fucking dope. But next one, I took a closer up of that. That's fine. Closer up of that. Close up of that. Next character, Orochi Kurias. I believe that's a character or a skin. I don't actually remember. But nothing too crazy here. They're just a few of the symbols and sigils that she has on her. A few of the red things and the whatnots. I think this was one of the pages that was glued together, obviously because of a printing problem. A few of the pages throughout the book were kind of stuck together, so I didn't really want to risk ripping the book for no reason. So this one's kind of hard to see some of the things on the side here. Very simple things, nothing too crazy about this character. Some of the ones that just don't have multiple designs I'm not really going to care about too much. And then we get into Hersha of Thun Dar. Is this in the wrong order? I think this is in the wrong order. Or maybe just Hersha of Thunder's just not... Did I not take an original one of a Hersha of Thunder? Maybe well, she's on the left there, but I guess I just didn't take it. This is just her final design. There's no, like, in between here. This is just what she looks like in the game. This is what you get in the game. This is what you get in the book. There was no, like... I would have liked to see what they would have, like, done for the shape here. Maybe they copied the shape from Gaku and whatever. I would have liked to see some redesigns of Kurikara and all this different stuff, but I guess there isn't any of that, so we move on to Raven. Raven looks great. Raven's simple. Natasha, Midnight Absinthe, looks great. Again, nothing too crazy. You get to see a pocket knife and her Raven things. To be quite frank, the Raven does look very dope. You know, it's just a Raven in it. Just a Raven in it, brother. Ain't a Raven, brother. And you get to see her cheeked up. To be quite frank, Raven's got a fucking dumpy. Who the fuck would have thought under all that she's got a thick fucking holy crap. But there it is. A big one. And you get to see the knife, which, again, knife's a knife, but there it is. Main feature, wabam. Look at that. Incredible. Incredible. Moving on. More things from the actual game. Raven. I do like this, though. They point out two things here. They call the top one Raven, right? Because you have little names right here for those who can't see it. There's little names kind of like labeling each of the pictures. The top one is Raven, and then the bottom one is Natasha. I do like how they try to make a distinction of like when Natasha is being Natasha and when she's being Raven. I like how they do that. Very cool. And then the next frame, right after that, we have the beginning of the end. Or the end of the beginning. Or the unreckoning, or the reckoning, who knows. Just the Theater of Domination, Kiana being shown the, what's it called again? The Prism? The Gem of Fury? The Gem of Fire? I don't know what it's called, but doesn't matter. More Theater of Domination things, very cool, very cool. The most creepy part of it, having that massive statue walk up on you. A Theater of Domination Void Corridor, kind of just the aesthetic of the Theater of Domination. All of this is very, very cool in my opinion. I love to see it. Not my favorite zone, to be quite frank with you, because you have to walk around the corridors a lot and there's like no open space, but it's, you know, personal thing. And then we move on to the infamous character. Raven's referred to the bar. Oh, does it? My apologies then. I was wrong. I was wrong. White Comet, the original character. The OG, if you will. Looks great. Again, nothing crazy here. Then you have her skin, the prodigal girl, rather. Sorry, prodigal. You have the hood on, you have the hood off. Looks kind of funky, looks kind of fun. Then you have Void Drifter. You do have, I do like this thing here, the addition of the spear, which she uses as a swinging weapon. Very cool. You don't have a gun, though. I would have liked to see the gun, but again, can't have everything. No super crazy designs here. Radiant Blaze, which is the other version of Void Drifter. Practically the same playstyle, just one is now good, and the other one is now not good. And then, the infamous one. The one who shall not be named, but I shall name her for the sake of everyone knowing, Hersha Void, who in fact does have some redesigns and some different, like, sketches that were you or could have been her. Which I think they didn't go for these because, well, I'm not sure when these were designed. Maybe these were designed for the game, and then they wanted to reference the manga, like, one for one. But then on the lefty, you have literally a complete color shift, by the way. A complete color shift. Here, it's going for a bit more of a purple and black aesthetic with pinkish highlights. Whilst, if we go back to the... Oops, wrong one. If we go to this one, it's just kind of gold and pink all over, not real purplish in my opinion. Doesn't matter. Then she loses a lot, like a little bit of volume, I think, from her kit here. This one just like, I don't want to say it, but this one's not that great. The third one here with the gold and white, I wouldn't use this one personally. But this next one I would use because it's a bit more fuller. It's a bit more fuller and a bit more like verbose, if you will. Just has a lot more going on for it. Bare skins, like, I don't really vibe with. I like skins to be a little bit more fuller. So, and then the last two here kind of are a bit more empty, but they started to add these floating things. And this last one, they had this shadow thing. I think they wanted, I assume for this one right here, they designed it to, like, she has one pillar that she just uses as a weapon, kind of like how Kaveh attacks, in Genshin right now, where she, like, just swings around one kind of thing. That would have been kind of cool. But regardless, all of them are great. All of them look cool, and obviously the bottom part is Kiana as Herschel Void because it has the blue eyes. It looks great. I kind of get it if the hair was purple, but pink. Honkai Monster are white pink. Yeah, I understand white pink. That's what I mean. This one right here is purple. It's the purple part that throws it off here, right? It's the purple part that throws it off because purple is not anywhere like close to what Psychic / Honkai is, in my opinion. It's the purple that throws it off. The yellow is definitely a part that also throws it off, in my opinion, right? That's kind of like my look on it, right? Kind of, because like the second one here is the closest to her final design. It's just that the hair lost the gradient, which, to be quite frank with you, I don't think the hair should have a gradient. I think that was a good choice to not have a gradient in the hair. You don't need a gradient in the hair. Like, that's just a bit of a, I think sometimes a weird feature to add to characters, because it's like, what's causing that? You know what I mean? But maybe that's just a me thing. Moving on though, a few more manga panel thingies, storyboards, story pictures. In the Mirror with Siren, which is a very touching one, finding out a bit more about Siren's past. And then Robust Ambiguity, which is the beginning of Kurikara, or rather Benares, and Benares' betrayal, if you will. And a design thing with Benares, again, nothing too crazy. Just kind of get to see how it looks like Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then that's about it. And then a few other things with the school, as if you are familiar with the game, you know where this is going right now. But we have the white Saint Freya, which is the Saint Freya, the earliest dreamland. Saint Freya, the symbol of youth, waits quietly for her arrival to gift her all the beauty it can muster. I believe it is the next one, which is the lady herself, which is Vermilion Night Eclipse, which looks great. And I want to point one thing out with this character's design. She has a few designs on the next page, which we'll get into, which could be skins if the character gets like a revival in the future. Maybe she gets some sort of augment to make her viable. But you'll notice one thing, if we go over to this one, that without going into the designs on the bottom left, her main design that's in the game is red and black, right? Red and black. But if we go back to this one, some of the like potential ones was red and white and black, which I think would have also looked very cool. I can see why they didn't go with it, because white looks the white stands out a lot, right? The white kind of mane, it stands out a lot. So I understand why they didn't go with it, but I think this would have been actually really cool to have, the whole white mane, just because the black kind of blends in a lot, so it kind of looks like just one mesh of colors, whilst the white kind of breaks it up. But apart from that, the difference between this and the other one is indifferent, or insignificant rather. Going down to the bottom part though, pirate, or like whatever this is, like olden lady, London lady, fucking Vermilion Night Eclipse, they planned or wanted to have like a fucking cowboy musketeer hat on her, which was fucking dope. And you can kind of see where they went with some design choices where you would have been like, you know what is happening here? What are we actually, what is here? What's happening here? But then you can see some of the design choices are kind of a bit too, I think, they fell into the trying to sexualize the character a bit too much with the open fucking titty holes, fucking all this bullshit, super just revealing stuff. I think that how it is right now, where it's like an armor-clad bodysuit, apart from obviously the fucking booba hanging out, everything in the midsection is a lot better in the final design than it is in this one. But then if we look at, I believe it's, which one is it? I think it's one of these two designs, the middle two at the top row. I think it's this one right here that looks a lot like Flame Scion. One of these two like reminds me of Flame Scion. I can't remember what Flame Scion looks like, but one of these two reminds me of Flame Scion, and you can kind of see Flame Scion's like design in it, right? I think it's the top, the third one here, which looks a lot like Flame Scion, which I do like. I like how they kind of, one of their early designs for Vermilion ended up kind of being a design for Flame Scion. You like, if you get the book and you see this, it's actually really, really impressive that they did that, and kind of nice. You kind of see that it's like a story thing, kind of like a nice story thing, and I really enjoy that. Very, very cool. And then some of these other ones, the purple here was definitely a no-go in my opinion. The purple was definitely a do not attempt at home kind of situation. The right one reminds me of Hersher of Thunder. I see what you mean. It reminds it's of Orochi. To be quite frank with you, a lot of her design does remind me of Orochi Kurias, the one that we just looked at before, Orochi Kurias, because it's kind of just a person with like small bits of armor, right? That's all it is, right? Or rather, you said Hersher of Thunder, I kind of just thought of Raiden in general, but regardless. It's just like small bits of like armor just kind of strapped to random bits of the body, right? So I definitely see where you're coming from with that one. But regardless, Himiko looks great. And then we have the most endearing and lovely lady in the game. If you didn't like this character, you're a cringe lord. But we have this one here, which is great to have in paper format, but you can also find this in-game, which is lovely. Then you have a sad girl, Kiana. Growth and goodbye. A crying child because Sensei passed away. Unfortunate. But we move on. And then you have the bridge. Saint Freya, the last journey, a long corridor leading to the campus entrance is at the same it was in the memory, but is now covered by a silent blanket of snow, making the memory even quieter. Himiko is looking at you, gentle and quiet. Talk to her for many things. And then we have some panels about different things. The Endless Stairs, which is where one of the abysses is held. It's kind of funky, kind of cool. It means nothing when the corridor's light has been devoured by darkness. Where will it lead? And then the last one, the final stage, is where you fight the boss that's going to appear on the next panel. The stage where the 1,000 hold trials, the sacrificial plate that unveils the darkness in every heart. Welcome my guest, or should I say my protagonist. And then we have the Hersher of Dominance boss fight. I really would have liked to see some other designs for this one. I think they should have included it. It would have made it a bit bigger of a book, but like, not having this guy's other designs is kind of a waste, because this guy is like how'd you get to this shape? Like, what made you go for this shape? Like, what was it? I want to know the process of getting to these shapes. But there's nothing there, so we move on. Hersher of Flamesun looks great, looks cool. Is Flamesun one of the better Kiana-looking units in the game, in my opinion. Again, not much on a lot of these units. Nothing here. Flamesun, you just see Flamesun. Maybe they already kind of copy-pasted the Vermilion Knight Eclipse design over and just kind of got to this conclusion. They were like, you know what? Looks good. And so they moved on with it. So, looks great. Upside down. You have the swords and whatnot. To me, nothing crazily changes apart from like small additions of like plate armor here. The sword shapes are the cool parts. The sword shapes are the cool parts, but like really to me, I don't really see too big of a difference. Maybe I'm just like not really picking up on it, but there's one design here. She has just a bigger, what is this? What do you call this? A skirt? Bigger cloak? Bigger cape? Bigger jet thrusters? Or maybe, no, these are her jet thrusters. But the sword is a bit more in line with Vermilion. This one's a bit more bare bones. This one's a bit more, I think, in line with it, but it's still Vermilion sword. Then they kind of went with like a bit more of a Zweihander kind of situation, a great sword dress kind of situation with like a few more jet thrusters. Now they kind of abandoned the whole kind of like wispy effect and went for like full plating here, which I definitely think this would not have been the play. I think having the wispy effects of hair and this like cloak is a lot better than having the full plate stuff, in my opinion. The full plate stuff would have made it feel a bit unnatural, if you will, but that's obviously the definition of it. Again, the sword design here, I think they abandon it very quickly and they kind of go back to this, which is a hybrid, obviously. But this one's probably the coolest looking one, but again, I still like I would need to see it with better colors, because purple is not the one for this. It's not the choice for this character, right? Obviously, as we know, she's not purple. And that's that. And then there's a few over here, a few designs. Obviously, this is the final design in art form, not in actual gameplay form, because she definitely doesn't look this badass. Bigger Monster Hunter standard armor. True. Bigger Monster Hunter armor. That's kind of what they do there. They just add size. So they turn the size slider to the maximum. That's what she looks like. A few more designs with like in different forms. I think this is like base form and this is like buffed form or something. Her sword breaks. I'm not really familiar with Flame Sign, so if my knowledge of this character is fucked, I do apologize. But there's some of the designs here are cool. And you can see one here, you know, we'll get to it in just a second. But you have a bit more of a bare design, like a bit less volume, but a little bit more like intricacy because of like the different platings, different layers of hair and cloak and capes and fucking everything and clothing. So this one, very cool. A bit deeper colors. I think this one is definitely in homage to Himiko with the deeper reds. Still very cool. I like it. Definitely see why they didn't choose it though, because I think it would have defied the concept of the story of moving on. I think it would have gone against the story, so that's probably why they didn't go for it. This one, very bare, nothing really happening. It's also like one color type. Also still kind of having those deep reds like Himiko, so again, probably wouldn't have been a choice. Obviously isn't. And then you have like Calpus, playable Calpus. I don't know why they made Calpus playable, but only if you have the actual book. I'm not really sure why they did that, but you can play Calpus if you have... or play as Calpus if you have the Art Collection book. So if you don't have the Art Collection book, I do apologize. You are not playing Calpus. This one looks cool though. Again, still very deep reds in some areas, so they probably didn't go with that. And also the mask is very, very much not the go here. And this last design, second last design, is more swords, deep reds. Still, they wouldn't have went with it, but all of them look fucking dope. None of these can be skins though, because I don't think they're too drastic of a change to actually be skins. I think they're great looking things, but like not good enough to be like a skin in my opinion. I see that some of these were implementing a bit of Herrscher Void in there. Yeah, I can see that definitely. Isn't this like part here, right? Herrscher Void-esque? Isn't this thing on the head Herrscher Void-esque? Or am I lying? Yeah, because here she goes for a tiara, but the thing on the top of the head here is like Herrscher Void-ish, right? That's true. They did also implement a bit of Herrscher Void. Again, probably to do with that acceptance thing, but I think they moved away from it because of the whole it's Kiana growing out of this mode or out of this feeling of the past and whatnot. So understandably, but yeah, very cool designs, but nothing here like in my opinion makes for a good skin. I think obviously these ones down at the bottom are probably how Time Runner got like created. The purple ones is probably somehow how Time Runner got created with the color scheme and the general shape of things. But regardless, I don't think anything here is too phenomenal to be thought of as a skin or like, and I can see why they didn't go for it. Took some closer shots of it. This next one has just a flame sign again with a bit of a different design, but a few manga panels of, I believe, the Theater of Domination final fight, which is very cool. You can just see a few extra manga panels, her slashing things, punching things, serious face. Which way is the right way up? This way. She grabs the sword. She puts her sword up. They shoot. Lots of Theater of Domination ladies. She puts up the sword. Very serious lady. And then we have the epic moment. You know, Kiana and Mei. Not Kiana and Mei. Kiana and Bronya doing their like Kagabunshi no Jutsu. And then you have Fuha come in with the Rasen Shuriken. And then you have Kiana doing her somersault Chidoris and whatnots it, and then you have her see what's her face again, Himiko, and then she goes full fucking lens flare mode or fucking fisheye mode, looks at the camera like Timmy in fucking Genshin Impact, and then she accepts something and turns into a fire queen goddess lady, and then you have the final moment where she slashes, and this is another one of those stuck pages, I do apologize. This was one of the stuck pages I did want to see in between the crack, but there was no crack available without losing paper. But this is where she decapitates the Herrscher of Domination. And claims victory. Number 1 Royale, year 4. Now we're about to get down. Very cool. Set tomorrow ablaze. A curtain will fall on the eerie stage, and fireworks hot enough to ignite the sky to take off. Oh, the voice is in pain. Oh god, my voice. Camera angle whenever a character is about to go berserk. Yeah, they go with the fucking fish lens or whatever, the fisheye camera angle. It's fucking, dude. Holy crap, I didn't expect them to do that in Honkai. They got that fucking Timmy angle. But then, next is the infamous, the utmost, the greatest, and my favorite arc of all. Elysian Realm. From a corner of World Serpent's sacrificial ground, a dark corridor winds outward, reaching to the deserted court buried beneath the ground. A sublime monument is erected in the middle of the precipitous cliff, quietly suggesting its construction dates back to before the beginning of the world. Elysian Realm. And the beginning of not the most, but one of the more informative arcs on a lot of things. A lot of information, a lot of density, a lot of fun. Elysia, Mrs. Elysia. More Mrs. Elysia, a bit of a fun Elysia. And this area, or this kind of section, is just literally all about characters. It just kind of shows the characters. It doesn't do anything other than that. If the character is playable, they'll show some funky designs, dude. Oh, I'll just say this. The ones that are playable, apart from a few, but the ones that are playable, have some fucking sick designs. Mobius, Eden, Elysia have some chef's kiss design. So let's get through these. It's just they are all very outgoing, to be quite frank with you. They're all very interesting. This one, again, I can't describe it. I don't know what it looks like, but it's like an air hostess, an airline hostess, kind of like that. It looks fucking sick, kind of like maybe like a pirate hunter, or sorry, a vampire hunter. Kind of cool. Kind of got this like one-sided cloak cape thingy. Over here, this looks very Hersher of the Void with the facial expressions and the general kind of like aesthetic. Looks very fucking cool. But again, probably a bit too maniacal for the character that she is in terms of the facial expression. But still, again, I like the design. And you can kind of see how Hersher of Corruption was created from one of these designs. Specifically, I think this one, to an extent, Hersher of Corruption was probably created. But going further down, some of these ones are like, I prefer over the actual Elysia, to be quite frank with you. I like long hair. So, like, seeing a long-haired Elysia, or at least with hair down, is like, you know, compared to hair kind of being in a pseudo-ponytail, hair kind of being fully down is kind of interesting. But here she's got a sword. Did they actually think of making her a sword character? Because that would have been also very cool to see what they would have done with that. But she has a sword in this one. Very cool, very cool. Bow, bit more kind of like a what's this thing? A corset attire, very cool. And then over here, same thing, corset, but a bit more oomph, if you will. All of these designs look great, and I wouldn't mind one of these being a skin. Like, just for some reason, one of the top two or the bottom right ones, like a middle or bottom right, kind of being a skin. I really wouldn't mind it, like, personally. Like, any of them. All of them look great. Probably one of the top two is, like, more preferred, probably, like, left, just because of this, like, I think everyone can unanimously agree that when someone has, like, just a cape over one shoulder, whenever anyone has a cape over one shoulder, you kind of have to acknowledge them as, like, ooh, this guy's, like, kind of badass. Like there's something mysterious here. Like, he's hiding something. He's, like, has he got a corrupted arm or something? So I just kind of like the design of just, like, a cape over one arm. Looks very cool. I like the middle one. The long-haired ones, just for the sake of long hair and it being, like, kind of out, I would also like one of the bottom ones. But that is that. I took a bit of a closer one. Unknowingly I could zoom in. A bit of a visual on her ultimate and how her ultimate looks kind of from different angles and the design at the top, as well as her, like, in her revive form, different things, the number of her, like, flame chaser badge. Obviously she's number 2, second to Kevin. Then you have her skin. You have a few different design choices here. Miss Pink Elf, the maid version. We have number A, which, to be quite frank with you, I can see why they didn't go with a few of these. She just looks like a schoolgirl, really. That's all it is. Just looks like a school child thing. I don't really know. Just looks like she's from anime. Looks like she was just copy pasted from an anime. That's really all it is. So looks cool. Maybe it'll be added as a skin in the future, but it kind of would probably collide with the maid one already. And then one of the bottom two is already a maid. I think the left one is the most like the official. Yeah. And then the right one is just maid again. They're all very nice, but yeah, I don't really have an opinion on these ones as no, I don't really like maids. I don't really like the skin. I've got the summer skin, so I don't know. Don't really care. But they all look very cool. I probably prefer, like, one of the bottom two. Or maybe the top. Maybe B. B looks quite nice. I do like the whole... I like it. Sure, why not? I fucking know. Looks good. B. Let's go with... Lock in B, Scotty. Lock it in, Scotty. Bit closer up. Next page, I think this is the official one with a bit of a sticker. Look what I found in the closet. Mobius, don't tell me you're into this. Mobius, you found this in Mobius's thingy, I guess. And then we get into some things. I don't like maids; it's just weird. I'm not too into it either. I don't really get it. I don't really get it. Because it's like not a thing, is it? I don't know. It's not a thing in my opinion. But yeah, each to their own. If people like it, whatever. We have Ode, which is Eden and Sue's introduction. Then we have Calpus's introduction, Decimation. Then we have Mobius, which is Ouroboros. And then we have Kevin, the finale. Then we go into a few character things. They kind of just showcase or like describe all the characters. I'm not going to go through these because I think they get the same thing in the actual game. You got Ryan and May. Then you got Kevin. Now, there's a few design things with Kevin, but like to be quite frank, we already have a lot of things about Kevin in this form, and we've seen him millions of times in this form, so I'm not going to go into it too deep. But I am Kevin, a soldier signated with deliverance. There is nothing more to me. True and real. You have Alicia, carefree, uninhabited girl. And then we have... Listen. When it gets to Eden, I'm in. I'm in. Hello. Listen, the two on the left, whatever. The two on the right, though, you have my attention, and you may have my money if I so choose. Because we need these. Listen, we need things. And this is something we need, collectively as a society. We need things like this. We just need it. That's all there is to it. These look great. I like them all, really. The left one, let's just go through them. The left one is most like her official. I think it's a bit more vibrant. Maybe that's just because it's in sketch form. The next one, I believe, it's a bit different hair, but I think this is like just a different color scheme for the most part. It's still kind of like her original design, but just a bit more different color scheme and a bit slightly different shapes everywhere. The two on the right are the most different, because it's changing the whole top part, essentially, the hairstyle and everything. Actually, no, this one has a very similar hair, just a different tone, it seems. But the third one is my main focus here. The third one is fucking dope. It kind of looks like... she could come out of, let's say, something like a pirate game. Like you say, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. You could pull her out of that game and put her in Honkai, and it would be this skin. Absolutely true. Or you can put this skin in Black Flag, and it would make 100% sense. Because it just kind of looks kind of piratey. Mainly the boots... The general hair, I don't know, there's something about it. I'm thinking Army Haites, man. I'm just thinking about it. And it looks fucking great. It looks absolutely phenomenal. I like her designs. A bit closer up, bit higher definition on a few of these ones. Like it. I like it. And then we have Calpus, also known as a fearsome usherer. He was a man who hid his face behind a dark mask and served as an important member of the covert troop, Cocoon. Very cool. Sue, once a doctor, he sought enlightenment through altruism. Very cool. Sakura, the crumbling of her homeland and a secret transaction turned her into an expendable chess piece. Very, very cool still. And then we have Mobius, just like her Serpentine pupils, her true colors defy imagination. And I believe we have some Mobius designs coming up soon. A young quiet soldier, she was born both immature and insecure and unaware of her turbulent future. Raven. Raven's obviously here because, yeah, but she looks pleasant here, to be quite frank with you. Raven looks pleasant here. I like it when Raven smiles. Ian looks more mature in the third one, and it looks like the red hair villain in Shield Hero. Oh, you're right. Melty, true. Melty. She looks like that bitch from the Shield Hero, the third one. Yeah, no, you're right. Mine. Yeah, Melty, mine. Yeah, oh, yeah, no, Melty's the blue one. Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, no, mine. Yeah, the lady that was renamed to, 2 different words for her adventuring name. No, you're right, but regardless, with Eden's personality, we have a 10 out of 10 character. Then we have Klein! Klein, the most delightful. Dude, some of her designs, look at this. I love Klein so much. Look at this! So we have Klein at the top, which is the most like the original, which also just has a few extra kind of mechanical things. But then we have Klein kind of looking like, just like a doll. I'm not too much of a fan of that, like the actual Klein design here, but I do like the serpent thingy that she has, because this would have been a cool gameplay mechanic. So I like that one. And then this one over here, kind of a bit more like Mobius with the crown thing, and looks a bit more maniacal. And then has this, like, whatever the fuck this is, a helix. Maybe it's a helix, or maybe it's like infinite. Oh, it's Ouroboros here, infinite. True. That's a cool design, actually, choice. And then we have probably my favorite, just because of the top hat and the monocle, but we have like 17th century Klein with a syringe. Maybe it's like kind of playing like to the whole, like, not witch doctor, sorry, the plague doctor aesthetic, just without the mask, but playing to the plague doctor aesthetic, which looks fucking dope. I know elf skins aren't a thing, and that would be a very bad thing to add, because like nobody would be having them, because it's just a waste, because you don't use or see elves much. But it's one of these as like a skin would be actually dope if elf skins were a thing. Any of these would have been actually kind of cool. But that is Klein. Very cool, very cool. And then just in general, her actual character right now is also nothing to scoff at. Hold on, one second. My throat is very, like, hoarse right now. So let me just, like, recover really quickly. Okay, on to the next one. Now we get into Mrs. Ouroboros. Mrs. Infinite Mobius has been searching for an answer since a long time ago and feigned smiles. You're going to actually look at some of the designs on the next page and be like, yo, what? Because some of them, some at the bottom are fucking funky, dude. You're telling me this is Mobius? You're telling me they planned this for Mobius? What? When? On whose name do they plan? It looks good, by the way, don't get me wrong. I do like it. But dude, it does not scream Mobius. It does not scream what Mobius does scream right now, obviously, because we kind of are used to Mobius. But then the middle one, which is kind of what Mobius is right now, just kind of what she looks like. But then this one as well, she's actually standing. That's fucking cap. That's fucking cap. She's standing. That's bullshit. This one, like the left and the right one looks so different. Oh, it's so different. And it's kind of weird to see them because you're like, whoa. It's not that it's like a design difference. It's like, it just looks like a different character. To me, at least. It just looks like a different character to me. So it's like, I like it. These can't be skins because they are fundamentally different. But they look dope nonetheless. They look dope nonetheless. A bit more of a close-up. And then we get into more of the Elysian Realm. A bit of a panel. You get to see this in-game once you complete like the first chapter, I think. Going further, you have the bosses themselves. Flame Chaser Elysia, the boss, as well as Flame Chaser Mobius. Now, this is a cool thing to see. The full design of what you actually are fighting when you are fighting Mobius in the as a final boss in the Elysian Realm. Which we'll be doing a bit later tonight as well. But seeing this, and you're like, I fight that? That looks terrifying. But then again, it's not that big in game. So this is actually her active Honkai reaction, by the way. Just for those who wanted to know. It is her active Honkai reaction form. So whatever, if we remember the Garuda that we see from Hua, that is her active Honkai reaction. We've known Mobius's for a while, which I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Which is very cool. Very, very cool. Going further, these are very long descriptions of the scenery. I'll probably like end up maybe putting these somewhere in the Discord. I'm not sure if I want to do that because it would just be like pollute the Discord somewhere. But if you want to read these descriptions, by all means pause the stream or something. Essentially, it just describes the scenery. Many believe the city fell, fallen silent forest. Long descriptions, very cool scenery, but again, it's long and arduous and blah, blah, blah. It looks cool. Looks very cool. And then the other two zones, oops, clicked it too many times. You have the Lightless Land and the Last Grave. I have no idea where the Last Grave is. Is that even in Elysian Realm? I don't think have I ever been there? I don't know. But the Last Grave is apparently a thing. It's maybe where Kevin is. That's where he died. I killed him there with my own fist down his throat. But who knows? And then you have a few other things. The actual other Elysian Realm gameplay mechanics. You have the portals, the Pardafelis' shop, the signets, a few of the remembrance vessels, which again, the pages are a bit harder to get separated, so harder to see the actual images there. But then you have all the on-use items and a few of the signets here as well. All the remembrance items and sigils and whatnot, which all look great, but you can also find them in-game, so do with that what you will. They all look kind of cool. On to the next one. The final act. The final act, boys. Last Grave was the final area where you find Ellie, or just after Heimdall. Oh! Oh, I see. Okay, I had no idea. I had no idea. I had no idea. But Colliston, the final one. The birth of a tragedy. He bid farewell, but no one knows his destination. What's left at an old place is a warm invitation. Colliston, the old HQ of Shixal. Very cool. And we have some character designs at the very start. We have Nagamitsu, which has some incredibly interesting designs very early on. And you can tell from 3 of the designs, again, do apologize for the little crease here, but it's a bit hard to get the pages separated. She had a bit of a ponytail in 2 of them. Bruh, come on, give some characters the ponytail, please. But she has a bit more of like a, let's say, a quote-unquote mature design in about 3 of these. The ones with the walking stick, I do think that are like designed to be a bit more like she's like an old scientist. And then this one up here is meant to be like kind of modern, but still kind of like mature, kind of like Dr. May. But to be quite frank with you, I like all of her other designs over her like actual current design. Like this one, the 2 left ones are like just goated. The 2 left designs are just goated. Kevin showed up in the Elysian Realm concept trailer and the Elysian boss stage. I see, okay. I like Nagamitsu other design than the current one. I like the 2 left ones. The ones with the 2 walking stick ones with the ponytails or just hair tied up just are better, I think, in my opinion. I just the left one's good, by the way. It's not bad. But I think I would have preferred these ones just because I think everyone has their hair out. Everyone has their hair just laying back. Like you look at every character. Is there one character that has their hair like shifted in some way? It's just like Hersher of Finality, I guess, is the only one. I don't know. I just would have liked a bit more funkiness with the hair designs in a lot of the characters, but that's just me. That's just me. Nagamitsu looks great. A bit closer up of the character for those who want it, I guess. And then we have a few of the side character designs, Amber, and the few of the residents that you'll find throughout it. Again, nothing too crazy, just the residents of the residents, and Amber is Amber. Oh, shit, hold up. Can I spin it? There we go. And then we go into Argent Knight Artemis, which, to be quite frank with you, her actual other designs weren't that good. Unfortunately, in my opinion, a lot of her designs were good. So we're familiar with Argent Knight Artemis, who is an ice lady with a scythe. But if we look at some of her older designs or some of her design sketches, some of them look very odd in conjunction with what the character's name would be. Because I'm pretty sure they came up with the name before, but maybe it's a precognition that I have that she's an ice character that I can't see any of these other things working, but maybe the element was very much not a thing of contention. But regardless, the designs with the name in mind look a bit odd, but I do like some of them. I like the 3rd one here because it kind of looks like she could be a different playstyle. She could use like these orbs as like attacking missiles or whatever. But the weird succubus looking one, kind of not it. And the ones that kind of look like Raven, I wasn't really too much of a fan of. Like the ones with little kind of like capes on the side kind of look a bit too much like Raven. So I wasn't too much of a fan of those. And then in general, they also look very basic. They all look like they could be like the same tier as all of her old designs. And so I don't think I was there for that. Anyway. Maybe Genshin also gonna put Timmy? Maybe. Timmy. Yeah, they could put Timmy. Why not? When Genshin does the book, they could put Timmy. On the next one, we just a bit of a close-up, and then we have the stand design, which, to be quite frank with you, the stand is like a fucking go. Look at the size of that thing, dude. Look at the size of the scythe. The stand is cool. No like other designs though, so it's like I would have liked to see what they would have thought of otherwise, but maybe they just came up with the decision straight away, so who knows. And then we have Spinner Astera, which has a few extra designs that we'll get into in just a second. But Spinner Astera, as we can see, is kind of, I would say, a bit of like a belly dancer vibe. She's kind of got that dancer vibe. But on the other skin, we have some designs. So let's get into the first one. Hey, look at that. A ponytail. And if we zoom out and go to the original design, no fucking ponytail, man. Come on. But regardless, A design looks fucking great. I like A lot. It kind of isn't what her actual design right now is. Her design right now is that of a kind of like a dancer. But all these designs, I would say here, don't actually go for that vibe in any way, except for maybe D. But still, they all look great still, but it doesn't go for that vibe. B1, I don't know where B2's there. B1 looks great. Again, it kind of still just looks just like a regular battlesuit, I want to say. It just kind of looks like a battle suit. It doesn't look like a specific theme. Going down it, there's some recolors here, some small alternations. This one, the hair design on this one is really cool. It kind of looks like a one-sided braid, which actually is like, I think would have been the most unique hair in the game. But regardless, they didn't go for it, but I really, really wish they did. They have a bit more wispy effects. This one has a lot of armor. It looks all great. B1 looks like Lamine. B1. Oh yeah, now that you say that, I guess it does. Yeah, no, that's true. Hey, maybe there was some sort of, inspiration. Who knows? Maybe like Lumine or one of these it's inspired the other. That would have been actually really cool. And then we have the original design, which is, the final design. Which these ones, none of these can be a skin except for like maybe some of the ones with extremely different hair. But maybe that at that point I probably wouldn't even want to use it, to be quite frank. But I don't even have the character, so it doesn't even apply to me. Now onto some story tidbits. We have the Stars cinematic where Herrscher of Reason uses or starts using the Thing of Stars. Or the Star of Eden. You have Eminence being used by Li Su Shang. And then we have Li Su Shang's design. Now, there's not much on this one, I don't believe. No, there isn't. There's Li Su Shang. It's because she was a boss at this time, not a character. And so she's not included in this as a character. I think once characters are included this as characters, there'll be a bit more design. But this is as a boss, so not much there. Just kind of looks like Li Su Shang. Very cool. Then we go on to the Man, the Myth, the Legend. And probably some of the highest missed potential. Maybe not missed potential because his design is good regardless, but bro, some of these designs for Otto are very gnarly, dude. These guys look fucking sick as. And I'm gonna say right now, you can see where the design for Luocha in Honkai Star Rail came from. Definitely one of these first two guys is Luocha from Honkai Star Rail. Right, 100%. I don't think it's like I don't think it's necessary to beat around the bush. One of them is Luocha. One of them. Single hair braid is not unique. Cal already have it. You didn't hear what I said. I said single side braid. It's a braid going down the side of your head, not going down the back. It's a different design. But yeah, this looks dope. The left one is a lot more bulky. The right one has like a free legs and whatnot. You got the whole like helix design. Then you go into a bit more of an open design. This one looks fucking dope because it's clad in armor. Like, looks fucking sick. I personally wouldn't have liked this one in the game. And neither of these ones in the middle would I have liked in the game, but they look sick regardless. And then the one on the right is kind of like the closest to the final design, as he does have this kind of like mantelpiece thing on his like scarfness on his thing. Now he just like has like neater hair in the actual game and whatnot. So looks really cool. Looks really cool, but yeah, these ones are this is definitely Luocha's like concept design that they use. They were like, you know what, we want this original design, but we'll just put it in HSR, and so they did. Going further, just a bit more of a close up on them. A few more there, and then his actual like final design in the actual game. You can see that the last one is like the most similar with the because it has the scarf thing. The hair is kind of the same, just a bit more neater and whatnot. So there it is. That's that. And other designs, but then we got Otto. Yeah, true. Then we did get Otto. Luocha have the same design with Honkai Impact 3rd Visual 7 Sword Otto? Sure. But he also has the same design as the first two characters. Void Archives, next. I don't really know what this means. It's just a picture of the chapel where they fight Otto. So it's just where you fight him as a boss, I believe. Strong intent to take over Otto's body is instead trapped by him for 500 years. As a result, naturally picked up his demeanor. Very cool. Dusk of a Fool, Otto goes into the abyss, lightness, deathness, juice. And then you have Celestial Hymn out of nowhere, which is, I guess, fine. A pristine formal gown reminds of Callan of Kislana, Holy Maid of the Shixel, that's people sang of, rather. Looks cool, nothing too intricate with the design. Twilight Paladin, again, nothing too intricate, just bare bone stuff. They don't have any alternating designs, just general character, how they look in the final thing. One of the more badass things to happen in the game is Teresa using Oath of Judah against Herrscher of Domination Otto. It's kind of fucking cool. Kind of cool. Huh. Very cool in my opinion. And then a few other panels. White Flower, Bronya being saved by Sealy. And then Teresa being saved by Palatinus Equonix. Very, very cool. And then Monochrome Homu, we're going into now, I believe, the filler arc, with Palatinus' side story, or is it Colliston? I can't remember what this fucking thing is, but Monochrome Homu looks incredibly cool, obviously. A nice thing that we can see in game. I believe that's Mr. Siegfried and Durendal. Very cool, very cool. And then Bright Knight Excelsior. Now, here's where we get into the thing of this character. I remember pointing it out to myself, is that this is a character where great hair gradient is, like, kind of acceptable. I don't know why, but it kind of just, like, works. Where I think on the other characters where there was a hair gradient, it didn't really work. But Bright Knight Excelsior, we get into some of these designs, and you kind of just, still, again, it's nothing too crazy. There's, like, you don't see any altercations, but it's seeing that, like, hair gradient kind of works. It's not drastic, but because there's this, it's just tonal changes, I believe. That's how it kind of works. But it looks cool regardless. You see the different stand. This guy's got the big sword, and then this one has the shield, I think. This one's the defensive one. I don't really care about this character, to be quite frank. I'm never going to get her or use her. But it looks cool regardless. And then on the next page, we have Mrs. Palatinus Equonix with Mr. What's his name? Joseph? Juan? Rodriguez? I can't remember what they gave him the name of, but you have the horse, which again looks very cool. No alternating design, that's just the final design for him. And on the next page we have just, oh shit, what the fuck? Oh, I didn't want to edit. Oops, my bad, boys. And then Palatinus Equinox, again, none of these like cool extra designs. They're just like the final designs for the character in different like broken down forms. I'm not too caring about these ones. I kind of want to see different things. Hlankaslana, not Christina, Krishna, Joseph. I think I'm gonna go with Joseph. Then Palatinus on a horse with Mrs. What's her face behind. Very cool. Palatinus dark mode with the Spinostera. More of the I think this is the place where you do the Subway Surfer game mode. This is the Subway Surfer game mode where you ride the horse down the thing and you have to do the puzzles. The Imaginary Space, Church of the False God. Now we get into False God Otto, which is the boss. When Otto had secured godly power, the space around him was transformed. This is one of the domains of Imaginary Space, a sign of absolute infinity, which is now the False God Otto, which again does not have any alternating designs. I don't know why they kind of slowed down with this stuff. It would have been cool to see what other designs they have for these characters. But you just have Otto, and then you have his angel form, Otto, which I guess they just kind of went with the Seraph design. That's kind of what they wanted to go for, is the whole Seraph thing. So maybe they didn't even have any other options, so they kind of went with it. And then we have the Otto final cinematic, where he does the whole thing fighting the sands and in the red sand area. Looks kind of cool. Again, it's the storyboard thing, so take what you can from this, but it's just the storyboard of that final cinematic with Otto. He has that one. He gets stabbed through the chest. He kind of starts plummeting to earth. He hits the ground, kills everyone, and then he saves Kiana Kaslana. What's her name? Callan Kaslana, that's the one. And everyone is happy. The final thing there, Otto looks at the sky and he looks at the imaginary tree and he's like, I've changed reality and I'm now the main character. Incredible. And then Beyond Will. You should drop from my Pools P. I have your skin. True. True and real. False God Otto and Deliverance Kevin design looks so majestic. True. Also true. It is very true. He accepted his ending peacefully. As he had put it, I would rather die chasing my dream. The madness was over. He had reached the other side, as he had always longed for. Just see the one and only her open her eyes once more. Difficulty reading, but regardless. The conclusion of Colliston. And now, the final part of the book, because that's the last part of the story that the book covers, in the art book covers. After that, it goes into event things. It kind of pulls a few things from cool events that happened along the way, and other things like that. So now we have Event Celebration, which starts off with Once Upon a Time in Shenzhou. And it just pulls a lot of like cool little frames from it, where a lot of cool skins came from. You have some Teresa skins, you have the Mei skin, which is the goated skin, to be quite frank with you. Hubba hubba. Pull out that bad boy. And then some final frame with Fu Hua, Senti, a few characters here and there. other stuff there. One of the just events, really. Just if you play during it, you probably love it, and it looks great. Hacksaw Bunny skin shows a few different designs for the weapon. Nothing really for the character, to be quite frank with you. The character designs, again, aren't being shown too much. And then you have, who is this? Herald of the Spring. I believe that is for someone I do not own, but another Teresa skin. Looks great. And then we have the best skin in the game, or one of the better skins, and this one does have some funky designs, as you can see in the bottom right there. We'll get into those in a second, but it's for Hersher of Thunder. And then we have some designs for Hersher of Thunder's skin, which we'll start off with from the left here, which is probably the one that everyone most likely wanted, which is literally the belly dancer style kind of skin. Everyone probably wants this one still to be added to the game after seeing it, but you have the belly dancer styled one, and then furthermore you have more of it. Kind of, this one removes the mask and adds a bit of the white and purple vibe, which fits a bit more with the character, to be quite frank, the white and purple. And then you have the next one, which is a bit more similar to the actual original skin, having the glasses and the general purple. It's not a cheap power, but whatever this outfit design is. A few other ones, looks a bit kind of okay. A bit more final design-esque. And then just a random red and white one, which probably looks okay, but yeah. All cool designs, but the first one is incredible, and so on and so forth. Then third one is kind of the original. Fifth one rather, original. They look kind of cool. The blue one and the red one, though, kind of stand out a lot. Skins look great, though. A bit closer individually. Flip them around, a bit closer individually. Skip too much. Look great. 10 out of 10. And then we have Mirrored Flourishes, another skin for this character, Stygian Nymph. No redesign choices here. It's all just the character, how they look in the final game, just broken down a bit more. They look great, look good, look great, good, great, good, I guess. Again, no extra things, so I don't care too much. And then we have this picture. I think this is from the next event, which is Stan Wars, which introduces Stan Wars. In these Search of skins, somehow got bigger booba. Well, that's all we have to do, right? Get bigger booba. Right? We have the first skin, Malve Cascade, which has a few alternating forms, none of them which I find overly impressive, apart from maybe the white one. I do like the white one. But they all look kind of okay. I think the final one looks really good. But yeah, they're all nice alternate versions of it. I do think the final version, though, is the better one. But still look all great. Prefer D out of all these choices right here. Final version of it looks great, looks good. Then we have not Teresa, sorry, Aichan and Tesla. I'm not sure what. I think this is just in the event skins or in the event character designs, so it's like not anything that works outside of those things. So it looks cool, but again, it's inside the event. And then probably my favorite thing to come out of this like section is the stigma for Raven, or the Raven stigma. I'm not sure what it's called, but they just look fucking great. To be quite frank with you, they just fucking look great. I had to wait for this outfit, and 2 years later, I think they sell it for 10k or something. That's how inflation works. Or no, sorry, not inflation, but that's how like value drop works, because the skin became a bit more common. Is upcoming free skin? Well, almost similar. In 5-point hair, I forgot what patch we are in. Okay, I gotcha. Fair enough. That's a cool design. That's a cool skin. The right design. Okay. But I like this section. Bit of a Raven. Moving on. We have Kiana sleeping in a hammock. And then we have the Estival Seaside Amusement Park, which I believe I've done the top one, the Rosemary event. I think. I can't remember exactly, but I remember doing that. And now, probably another one of my favorite parts is the Senti lady and her skin being shown. Much like we did Senti at the very start and looked at her designs there. Now we get into her skin in just a second. Cool Summer, Tranquil Night, different skin variations or different like frames for Mrs. Stygian Nymph. Stygian Seafoam, which is a skin. It looks great. No alternating designs though. Still just how it looks in the game. Looks cool. And then, coolness here. Again, like we looked at Senti's weapon at the start, or Senti's original design, now we look at this bad boy, which is, again, the GOAT. Dude, how you just have sick weapon designs, sick weaponry skins. You have, like, a shark spine, then you have an ice cream cone or thing, then you have a paddle, and you have a fucking shark. It's just all sick. It's all dope. It's all epic. It all looks cool. The original character looks great. with the whole extra effect. This skin is great. Probably one of the best skins they've ever added, in my opinion. But the skin did have some redesigns. The skin did have some redesigns. And some of those redesigns looked kind of interesting. So some of them went for a bit more of the whole swimsuit vibe instead of just being summer themed. Some of them did go for a swimsuit vibe. Some of the top 3 essentially went for a bit more of a swimsuit vibe. And in general, kind of a bit more like, I would say how anime would do it. But then the bottom few kind of went for a bit more just a summer vacation vibe, which I think the bottom left one is closer to the final design, as this one has a surfboard, this one has a suitcase. They all look fucking sick. Like, honestly, they all look fucking great. This skin is like probably the best skin ever added, or one of the top skins ever added to Honkai. But they all look great, all look good. And this skin didn't get a return. Well, hopefully in the future we get it to return, because this being able to get this, fucking sick. I did take closer pictures of this because it is very good. But then we have Sea and Breeze, which is the... I don't actually know this skin, or I don't think I've ever seen it, but it has a few extra redesigns, which are all very cool. Again, I don't know what character this is for. I guess it's for White Comet, I think. It looks like White Comet's posture. But it has a few cool designs. Again, it's summer, so a lot of them are going to be summer themed. A bit more anime styled for some of these choices. This is the classic anime aesthetic usually. They all look cool. The final design is a little bit more of modern hipster, in my opinion at least. And then we have... oh god, I'll get it. Fallen Rosemary's skin. Summer Night's Dream, I believe. Some of these designs down here... I don't know what they're trying to do, though. You know what? Like, I don't know what they're trying to do. You know what I mean? Like, what's up with the devil horns? Or, like, what's up with the demon horns? Like, is she that? Or, like, what's happening here? You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? What's happening? Like, they didn't go for it, but, like, what was the idea? Like, what was the goal with these choices? You know what I mean? And the fact that all of them have it, they didn't think of changing clothes. They were like, you know what? The ears, the horns have to stay, but the clothes. Sorry, no, the horns have to change from different horns, but the clothes, they can stay. It's like they changed their clothes up. But regardless, thank God the horns didn't get through, and now we have, and also the hair length that got like elongated from short to long, which is fine. And then, whatever the hell this is, some event stuff. The Valkyrie's Cafeteria, which is some frames from the cooking show. The regular curry potato stew, the Shenzo steamed bun. Now the Vodka Girls Live Time. Very cool. And then the Have a Taste frame, which is all very, very fun. Which, to be quite frank with you, we'll get into that Bronya one in just a second. All of these are very nice, but you can also find these all through the Cooking with Valkyries anime, which is all very great. And then we have Bronya, Magic Girl Bronya, which is, weirdly enough, we get the bike here, by the way. By the way, we get the bike here, but for the original Hersha of Reason, we don't get the bike visual, which I find very conflicting, right? I find very conflicting. So, regardless... We have the bike, but again, we have no, like, alternate, like, versions of this, so it's kind of like just this is the final version of the character. Bronya's aging bike. Magic Girl Bronya looks great. One of the better skins in the game, in my opinion, just because of the color change from blue to purple. Looks good. And then you have her drawing the Star of David for some reason on, well, I think it's the Star of David on lasagna, or, sorry, pasta, my bad. It looks good. And then one of the final pages, you have just chibi versions, or the cooking version of all the characters, which is very, very nice and very wholesome. This is from an event, the cooking one? Oh, it's from an event. I thought it was from the Cooking with Valkyries series. I guess that it does make sense. But you have all this, looks good. And then the next page is the other characters, which it does have Chick Phoenix, which is fucking incredible. And you got Darway, you got Raven, you got Callan, Einstein, Tesla, Rita, Otto. Got all the characters. And then, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the book. That is all the pages in the art collection. And let me tell you, pretty cool, pretty cool. I do have some critiques that I want to point out, but you know, very cool art book. What do we all think of it? What are we all gonna what do we all think of it? What are we giving this book a rating out of, right? This art collection, volume 1, Trails of Comets. What are we scoring it out of 10? What is the final score, you know? Because I've kind of got my score in my head. I don't know why I want to score it, but like of like what we expected versus what we got, and how would you rate it then? Because I've got my score, right? And I'll tell you guys my score right now, right? For me, it's a very, very easy like 7. And I'm thinking of maybe lowering it, and let me articulate why, right? Right, you guys definitely tell me yours, but here's why I give it like not that high. Like in comparison to I think how some other people would maybe give it a 9 or a 10, I give it like a 6.5 to a 7 because I feel like they could have very easily, very easily, they could have withheld the book, right? Withheld the book for at least an extra 2 to 3 months from shipping and from releasing, for an extra 2 to 3 months, and had everything from part 1 of Honkai in the book instead of just having like up to Colston, and then after this you don't have any of the the other Elysian realm, the Elysium Everlasting. You don't have any of the moon stuff. You don't have any, there was no Aponia. Like Aponia didn't make an appearance. You didn't get any of all those things. Vilv wasn't in there. Part of Fellas wasn't in there. Like a lot of things just weren't there. And so if they postponed it by like a few months, you'd be able to potentially put everything from part 1 in there. Like you would have been able to get all those characters, all the extra arcs, finality, origin, truth, Ai-chan, Li Su-shang as a playable character. All of the book would have been bigger, obviously. The book would have been bigger. But like, I feel like that would make it a lot better. Because right now, when they're, let's say they release volume 2, right? Let's say they release volume 2 right now. Well, what's that gonna have? It's gonna have a mixture of things from part 1 and then part 2? Or is it gonna have a mixture of things from part 1 and then part 1.5 and then also part 2? So it's gonna be just, volume 2 is gonna be a mixture of things that have no correlation to each other, in my opinion. So they could have easily postponed it for a few extra months. Obviously, we wouldn't have it like now, but that's like the only critique that I have. Other than that, I think it's fine. I think it's pretty cool. Didn't get one, 0 out of 10. Cool. Sendy gets the W from everything. I give 8 out of 10 because there's no Vilv. If there's Vilv, it's a 10er. That's fair. Again, I'm of the same mind. If there were more characters and more things, I would have given it a higher score, but for some reason they just decided to only have up to Colston. But maybe volume 2 will have all the things from Colston all the way up until the end of part 1 finale, because I guess that might be a lot of things there. I'm not quite sure. That's from what, chapter 25 to 35, so that's 10 chapters worth of things. So it's, you could actually probably do it. But there was also no Dia and Korra in this. Like, so many things were missing. But that's like the only critique that I have with the book. Personally, that's the only thing I have. Is just that there was not, there was a lot of things were missing. But yeah, I'll probably upload that as a small video. And by small video, I mean like that was probably what, like 2 hours.